Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Monday, July the 14th. And we are looking at another hot week ahead of us. Who is surprised, though? It's July in Mississippi here in the South, so it's going to be hot. But we are looking at some triple digit heat indices coming up in the next few days. You want to pay extra attention to be extra cautious when you are outside, if you go outside. And we're also looking at the tropics. But for all of that info, you want to be here at 2:30 for our first alert weather team. They'll be here and giving you the full details of the forecast. Of course, we'll be looking at an abbreviated version of your forecast in just a little bit. So if you're watching on our website or through our mobile app, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, if you're watching on our social streams, you can always join the conversation there. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions, anything like that, you can always post that in the comment section on our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And if you are watching there, let me know where you're watching from. I hope everyone had a great weekend, even though it was warm. Still, I hope you all had a great weekend. Let's go ahead and get into the news. We're going to look outside first. Well, we're not getting into the news. We're going to look outside before we get into the news and look over the Mississippi River over in Vicksburg. And you can see, got a barge there on the water, but still beautiful out. Lots of blue skies, big, beautiful clouds, but still, again, lots of heat out there. So just be careful if you are having to get outside today. We'll go ahead and get into the news now. There was an accident this past weekend that really disrupted some traffic over in Vicksburg. So it happened around 5 o'clock Sunday on I-20 near the Vicksburg Mall. Two pickup trucks collided. One ended up landing upside down in the median of the interstate. So at this time, it is still unclear what caused the trucks to collide. There's no word yet on if there were any injuries or anyone was hurt. We have reached out to the Vicksburg Police Department, but we have not heard back from them yet. But as soon as we do, we will certainly update you. Um, Hello, Miss Sandra says she's watching, getting ready for youth camp. I hope have a blessed week. Off all week. Well, have a great week being off, Miss Sandra. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, Melissa, how are you doing? Happy Monday to you as well. All right, so moving now to Adams County, where two people have been arrested there after sheriff deputies say a man was assaulted. So Sheriff Travis Patton says that this happened Friday evening. It was near a bridge on Deerfield Road, which is southwest of Natchez. He says investigators believe multiple people assaulted a man identified as Reginald Butler. So the victim left the area, but then later returned where he was assaulted again. This time, officials say that he pulled out a gun, fired several shots, hitting his attackers in the chest. So both men left the scene. Butler was later taken into custody, and the man who was shot was taken to the hospital. There's no word on his condition. Now, one of the men involved in the initial assault, the first assault that happened, Cameron Tatum, is being charged with simple assault, and Butler has been charged for aggravated assault. So as soon as if we get an update on the status of the man who was shot in the chest, we will pass that info along to you. Melissa, doing good. How about you? I'm doing great, Melissa. Thank you so much for asking. And Andrew tuning in from Memphis. Thanks for watching, Andrew. So Jackson police say that they're getting several calls from multiple people who say they've been contacted by scammers pretending to be from the Hinds County Sheriff's Office. So JPD tells us that the caller will say to them that there's a warrant out for their arrest, or if they call you, say there's a warrant out for your arrest, that they're going to come to your home and arrest you unless you wire money using a QR code that they provide to you. So in some instances, the caller says that they were asked to stay on the phone until the wire transfer is completed. JPD said, please note that the Hinds County Sheriff's Department would never ask for you to wire money to them to lift warrants. They said that this is a scam. The department says if funds are wired to scammers, unfortunately, law enforcement has no way of retrieving those funds. So if anyone calls trying to get you to wire money to them, just say no. Like, no matter who they say they are, whatever the reason, say no until you have proof of speaking with someone in person regarding this. And Jackson police made a very large drug bust after an ongoing investigation into illegal drug activity. The JPD Narcotics Unit executed a search warrant on North Flag Chapel Road on Friday. There, officers confiscated a significant amount of marijuana and several amounts of Oxycontin pills. Detectives said they also discovered a FN Herstal semi-automatic handgun. So the case currently remains active, involving multiple people of interest, and is part of an ongoing investigation into illegal drug activity. But yes, they have made at least some arrests in those and confiscated a large amount of drugs. Good job to the Jackson Police Department. Kenneth Jones says that he received a call the other day while he was at the DMV, told the DMV lady about it, and she said it was for sure a scam. Yeah, you can't trust the phone calls, especially they can spoof phone numbers now where it'll look like someone that you know, someone that is in your contact list is calling you, and it's really kind of scary when you think about it. So that's why it's better to always be safe rather than sorry, especially when it comes to your finances and to your money, and not do a wire transfer to someone demanding it over the phone. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Talk to someone in person before you do anything like that. Now we're going to North Mississippi, where sheriff deputies are investigating a shooting that left one person dead and a child injured. So this happened around 7 o'clock Friday night in the Tunica County town of Robbinsville. Deputies say 30-year-old Nakaria Judd was killed and a 6-year-old child was hurt. So they are now trying to find the suspected shooter, identified as Markello Braxton. They say that he should be considered armed and dangerous. So if you have any information on the deadly shooting that happened there, please contact the Tunica County Sheriff's Department or call Crime Stoppers. And good news here around the nation. In the past couple of weeks, the prices at the pump has fallen at nearly 9 cents per gallon. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up over several gallons, it can help to reduce that gas bill for sure. Now, the average price of gas around the nation is just over $3.15. Refiners are charging lower wholesale prices on gasoline to their buyers because of what they're saying is heavy competition in the summer driving season. Earlier cuts to oil prices also contributed to this drop. Now, here in the Magnolia State, we're going to look at the gas prices. So in Jackson metro area, you're looking to pay around $2.70 a gallon. That's the same price statewide on average. Nationwide, again, the average sits at $3.15 a gallon. So it's good news during these summer months to have those gas prices go down, especially people traveling and getting on the roads more. And a civil rights icon was honored in her hometown. A brand new mural was unveiled of civil rights activist and suffragist Ida B. Wells in Holly Springs. Wells' great-great-grandson was the guest speaker for the ceremony. Guests were treated with live entertainment, food, and drinks during the ceremony.
We just honoring and reflecting on our ancestors that have paved the way for us by emulating a mirror on our wall. This business is an oak palace here in Holly Springs.
All of them are from here, right? And so Holly Springs is a tiny community when you consider 6,800 people. But we come back to, we drive down from Chicago and everybody's heard of Holly Springs, Mississippi. So the culture, the wealth of the mental wealth of the people here is incredible.
Ida B. Wells is famous for her work as a journalist and anti-lynching crusades that took place in the late 1800s to early 1900s. Angela with the Mic magazine says Ida B. Wells is one of my journalism champions. I learned about her this weekend and just a lot of history that I really wasn't even aware of this weekend. I went to the Civil Rights Museum. Me and my family went on Saturday. And if you haven't been to one of or the two Mississippi museums, the Civil Rights Museum here, you really need to go. Really need to go. It was an eye-opening experience for sure. Loved it. Was talking about summertime and the heat and all that, the summer heat and actually migraines. If you're a migraine sufferer, those two things can go hand in hand, which can kind of cripple day-to-day life during the hottest times of the year, especially if you are someone that suffers from migraines. So, a neurologist at South Central Regional Medical Center in Laurel says that heat is a common trigger for migraines, and he says that the key is staying hydrated to keep migraines away when it gets as hot as it is now.
So one thing I tell my patients is that make sure they stay well hydrated, okay, because that prevents them from having these headaches. Now, we cannot change the weather, so we have to do what we can do to prevent them from having the headaches.
Doctor also says patients with chronic migraines should keep their rescue medication close at hand during the hot summer months. And speaking of hot summer months, with these heat indices getting into the triple digits, which is what we are expecting this week, we're looking at the difference between what is an actual heat advisory and an extreme heat warning. The National Weather Service says the difference is in the degrees. A heat advisory is when the heat index is expected to be 105 degrees or more. Extreme heat warnings are issued when the apparent temperature is going to be 110 degrees or more, the temperature feels like it's 110 degrees or more, or the actual temperature is 105 degrees or higher. In the event of a heat advisory or warning, there are a few things you can do to help protect yourself.
Anybody that has the same vulnerabilities to cold has the same vulnerability to heat. So we just make sure everybody stays hydrated, stays inside as much as they can, restrict their times outside, especially during the hottest part of the day, and remain safe.
Now you can download, of course, the First Alert weather app to check for any heat advisories or extreme warnings. Again, we are looking at triple-digit heat indices this week, and we're going to look at our forecast in just a second, as well as talk about some Mississippi baseball players that got drafted in the MLB. Before we do that, though, let's hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thanks to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. So let's go ahead and take a look outside right now, look at what our current temperatures are across the area. And you can see that we are sitting in the upper 80s to low 90s around the area. It says that it's 76 in Natchez. I'm not sure how true that is unless there's some rain moving through the area. That could very well be possible. But we are sitting at 90 right now in Jackson, but the heat indices is a lot higher. The heat indices is 99 right now. So be aware of that if you have to get out. It is hot out there. Now, our current radar is showing, okay, though that's probably why the temperature is a little lower there in Natchez. We do have some rain across the area, especially in our southern counties, but also Warren and Claiborne County. Of course, typical summertime weather pattern, rain, afternoon showers are expected. If we look at our 12-hour forecast, you can see we do have that 20% chance of rain even into the overnight hours. And our next 7 days is, Well, that is the forecast is not updated right now for our 7 days. So our 7 day forecast, let me get this pulled up for you. We're looking for it to be about the same over the next 7 days. Highs in the mid 90s. Wednesday, we're looking to get up to 96, but the heat indices is going to be so much higher, up into, like I said, the triple digits, as high as 108 degrees on some days. So you really make sure that you are staying hydrated if you're outside, trying to stay cool, get into a cool place if you can, take a break, get into shade, all of those things. Take care of yourself in this hot weather, especially if you are outside. And if you know someone, check on the elderlies, make sure your pets have water, all of those things with this hot weather that we are going to be expecting. And make sure you're here at 2:30 for the First Alert Weather Team. They will be here and give you the full look at your forecast, what we can expect, and they'll even take a look at the tropics, because we are tracking the tropics. There is a possibility of something forming in the tropics, so you want to hear from our meteorologist here to get the full details on that. So let's coming back here to Jackson. There was a really cool event that happened this past weekend where 6 law enforcement agencies came out for a fun-filled day of hoops, and it was all to honor a fallen hero. So dozens filled Jackson's Academy's basketball arena Saturday to watch their local police officers and firefighters ball out in honor of fallen Hinds County Sheriff's Deputy Martin Shields Jr. With the help of the Martin L. Shields Jr. Foundation, the tournament came to life. Hinds County, Ridgeland, Jackson Police Department all competed in the tournament on Saturday, along with some local fire departments. The tickets were $20 a piece, and all of the proceeds went to a scholarship fund to help local Jackson seniors reach their goals of going to college. The Deputy Shields Foundation was created to honor the legacy of Deputy Shields, who foundation members says loved giving back to his community.
We want to honor his legacy. Deputy Shields was a community servant. Like, he loved his community, he loved giving back, he loved the children, and so we want to just continue that on. We want to basically make this tragedy a triumph.
Deputy Shields was killed in the line of duty back in February. The Shields Foundation says they will continue to give back to the community just as Deputy Shields did. And a little bit of history was made in Major League Baseball, in the Major League Baseball draft, when Mississippi's top prospect JoJo Parker was selected number 8 by the Toronto Blue Jays. This makes him the highest drafted player out of Purvis High School ever. So the Mississippi Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year was the 9th best prospect in this year's class, according to MLB.com. Last season, Parker finished with a .489 batting average with 35 RBIs and 13 home runs. The second best prospect in the state, USM's J.B. Middleton, was the 45th pick in the second round by the Rockies. In the third round, USM's Jake Cook was selected as the 81st pick. He also went to the Blue Jays, along with Ole Miss's Mason Morris, who went 83rd overall to the Cincinnati Reds. So the draft does continue today. And JoJo Parker's brother Jacob is expected to be selected early on, along with Luke Hill of Ole Miss and Pico Khan of Mississippi State. So congratulations to all of those Mississippi baseball players. And at 3 on Your Side is taking you to the SEC Media Days, which are getting underway in Atlanta. So later today, you'll hear from Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin, along with players T.J. Daugherty, Caden Lee, and Austin Simmons. Mississippi State will be featured this Wednesday. Then you'll hear from Blake Shapen, Isaac Smith, Brennan Thompson, and Coach Jeff Libby. Coverage of the SEC Media Days will start today right here on WLBT. And looking ahead to next weekend, some exciting news with the St. Jude Dream Home. You'll soon be able to go inside the Dream Home to see the finished product for yourself. So the 5-bedroom, 3.5-bath home is going to be open to the public for the first time this coming weekend. It's going to be your first chance to get inside the $525,000 dream home in the Bristol Crossing subdivision in Flowood. So this all begins with a grand opening ceremony this coming Saturday, and then the dream home is going to be open from noon until 5. After that, open house tours are going to be held every Saturday and Sunday through August 10th at between 12 and 5 o'clock. And the address here is 166 Bronson Bend in Flowood. Now you can win tickets to, or you can buy tickets to win the St. Jude Dream Home on our website, WLBT.com. They're $100 a piece, and the winner will be selected on August the 14th right here on WLBT, the live. And not only do you get the chance to win this dream home, but the bigger thing is you get to help the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So, guys, that is going to be it for WLBT Plus today. I appreciate all of you for tuning in on this Monday. I hope you all have a great day and have had a great day. I will be back tomorrow, and our First Alert Weather team will be here at 2:30, so make sure you tune in then for them, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.